Okay, make myself comfortable. First, my hair is all over the place. Okay, it's good. Hi. No, not yet. My leg is gonna die like this. Okay, this has nothing to do with the video, but like as some of you know, I love mugs. So like this is the coolest mug ever that I possibly was able to get in my life. And there's another way of getting your art block just by getting some cool mugs and drinking coffee or tea from the cool mugs and just enjoying your life with cool mugs. So, hi, hello, my name is Mima, welcome to my channel, and in today's video we're gonna speak about how to overcome an art block and what to do when you're actually not inspired. Okay, so in this video I'm not gonna share like those like usual advices that like most of the people are using, like you should meditate, you should go for a walk, you should start thanking the universe and God, you should clear your mind and speak to other people, or to, I don't know, search the inspiration through Instagram, Pinterest and all these different things. Like those are the things that make my art block and inspiration even worse. So like if I should meditate when I have an art block, like my mind is insane whenever I have an art block and whenever I have the lack of the inspiration. And imagine me, we have some friends that are flying here. Imagine me meditating at that point, like I have like, no, like I'm everything but trying to be calm because I'm panicking because I am in a mode, like we artists are thinking that it's like that is really serious when we have that art block and when we have that like lack of inspiration. So like those are not the tips that I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you 10 tips that I find really helpful, but at the same time they're very weird. So the first tip would be something that really helps me, but to actually draw something cute. I know that's really strange, but you know when you're walking down the street and you actually like see like a baby or a cat or a dog or I don't know, a bird, and then you say like, then your mind goes like straight away like, oh my god, how cute. So imagine your brain being in that oh my god, how cute mode for an hour, 2, 3, 5 a day, like no matter how much you actually need to create something nice. So I had an art block like few weeks ago, and I was like so uninspired to draw basically anything. And then I went like, we're gonna speak about that like a bit later, how I actually got to that thing. But like I used the AI image generator to create something very, very cute. And that's one of the next tips that I'm about to share with you, like to basically use the AI image generator like as much as you possibly can. Go to the AI image generator and like just ask from them to basically create the cutest possible creature out there. There are like many of the free AI image generator out there now, so you can basically use any of the free there and just create something that is like so cute and start drawing that. So you're not gonna expect anything like, I don't know, wow from it, but like having your brain actually thinking like that, having that cute oh my god moment is gonna really help you out, like to kind of overcome that block that you have at that point. So I ended up drawing such a cute rabbit, as you can see, like this is so cute and so fluffy. So like this is like something that really helps me out because like I'm in that mode, like in that cuteness mode, and like then I don't care about anything else. Just like you look at that like constantly, so your mind is not thinking about anything else but the fact that something is actually very cute. So that's the first advice. The second advice, I just need to remember. So this is very strange, but it actually works for me. So to draw something on the floor. So you remember when we were kids and then like whatever you were doing, you were kind of basically ended up like drawing on the floor. So having that innocent moment of that childish moment, kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just do something and draw something on the floor, is something that really actually helps me. I was even drawing on the floor while I was in college. It's because like I had like the smallest, I was living with my mom back then, like, and I had the smallest possible room ever. So like I had a very small desk there as well. And whenever I wanted, like whenever I had like a big project or something, I was ending up like drawing on the floor. And those drawings were actually turning out the greatest because I had that kind of, your mind is bringing you back to that innocent moment you had where you were just like, you can just lay down, make yourself comfortable, like, I don't know, make yourself coffee and tea or tea, and just put everything that you basically want and have at that point on the floor. Just sit there and like, or lay down there, make yourself comfortable, of course, like don't hurt yourself in the process, like put a blanket or something, a cushion, and then you just draw on the floor. And it's something that really helps me out to just like get that kind of a thing in my mind where I actually didn't expect anything from myself. Like when we were kids, all we like were thinking is to just like be creative. We didn't think about like, is this gonna turn out like professional, good and stuff? Like how am I gonna represent that on social media or something? Like we didn't think about those things. So like your mind kind of is like even subconsciously bringing you back to that like innocent place where just like it was like you were just curious and you wanted to create something. So that's something that really helps me out. I truly hope that it will help you. I know that it's strange, but like trust me guys, it really helps. Okay, so the third one and the next one is this is something that I actually do frequently. Like whenever I had that block, like okay, like I have no idea what I'm gonna actually do and draw and stuff. So what I would do is basically I would put everything, I would put all my drawings on the floor, just sit and just observe. Like I was spending hours just observing my work. And it was something that was bringing my inspiration back because like your brain, whenever you see some like good drawing, less good drawing, like you start criticizing yourself and at the same time like just like patting yourself on the back like, okay, you like did a good job here. So I have that kind of a like up and down moment, like I see a drawing and I was like, I could have done this better, but at the same time I look at some of the drawing and I was like, okay, you did a very good job here. And you kind of, when you see what you created, your mind kind of like, I usually feel like, okay, you did all this, it took you like years of creating like these things, and all of a sudden like you're not inspired to actually do something and draw. Like, come on. It works. It's a mind game, but it really, really works because it's like kind of making you feel inspired and like overwhelmed, but in a good way, of what you actually created so far. And then you kind of start getting slowly that inspiration back. Like maybe it's going to take you a day, 5 days, a week. Like I have no idea what kind of how much time you're going to actually need for the inspiration to come back in this way. So for example, for me, it took me maybe, sometimes it takes me a day, sometimes it takes me a bit more, you know? So like whenever I have that feeling that I just like feel that I want to observe my work and just to kind of see like, what can I do better? What can I do this? Because it kind of makes you feel like be better in your future drawings as well, seeing them all like that, all at once. So it really works for me. I hope that it will work for you as well. So that's another thing that you can actually use and maybe combine like some of the tips, because like I end up in the end like combining all the tips, not all, but like I combine 3 or 4 or together, but you're gonna see why, like after we go through all of them. I've written them down just in case I don't forget something. So the next one is something that I like, especially for the past few years, I started implementing, and it's something that is really, really working. So if you were following me on social media, like you see that I started like having like a bit of acrylic moments there. It's because whenever I feel like really, really uninspired and I have that block, I run into the medium that I use the least. So whenever you have that art block, just take the art medium that you use the least, because your brain, your mind, like you yourself is not expecting there, like nothing professional, nothing, like basically you don't have any expectations from yourself because you don't know that medium. So your mind straight away goes like, okay, I'm just curious, I'm just gonna experiment, and that's it. So whenever I feel uninspired, I actually run away to like acrylics. I go like to the acrylic mode and I have a few of the canvases there and stuff, just because At that point, I'm just curious. Like, I just want to kind of place all the colors there. I don't expect anything from myself because I have no idea how to use acrylics. I've been using acrylics while I was preparing for my art school, like for my college, and during my college, but not that often. And I forgot how to use it. Like, it would take me like months and years to actually go back to it. So I don't know how to use acrylics, and that is just something that I kind of love doing, because whenever I'm not inspired, I feel like I want to do something, I have no idea what to do, I don't want to have any expectations from myself, and then I just ran into something that I have nothing to do with. Like, I have no idea how is that going to turn out. Your brain is just curious then, and it really, really helps me in overcoming that kind of uninspired mode, because you end up like kind of creating something very, very good. So that's another advice that is like really, really useful. The next one would be, okay, this is something very weird, and I don't believe that no one would ever advise you this, so like I'm being very brave here. This is something that is like a strange advice, but like it really helps me. I don't know if this is gonna help you. Like, this is a mind game as well. So basically, how I ended up enrolling into the art school is that because loads of the people around me was telling me how I'm never gonna be an artist, I'm never gonna be successful, there are loads of artists that are much better than me, you will starve, like usually the artists were starving. It was like a disaster, like no one believed that I can actually do it. And the thing that was driving me the most, like I ended up being like the fourth on the list from like many students that were actually applying for that art school. I ended up being fourth on the list because I was just like, I'm gonna do it out of spite. And I did it. Like most of the things, like most of the big things that I did in my life was just like out of spite. And this is really something strange, but like whenever I feel uninspired, I just remember that people didn't believe in me. Then I remember the time when someone told me that I'm not gonna succeed, I am a bad artist, I am not good enough. Like there were times when like actually people were telling me this. So I remember that and I was like, like no, I'm gonna show you that I am good enough, and then I do something out of spite. And whatever I do at that point, I'm proud, because like there's also like that ego moment there, like, okay, I'm gonna just like be the best possible thing in the world that I can, you know, like at that moment I'm the best. So that is like kind of a bit of a mind game, but for me it really works. Like whenever I'm like, I have nothing, like I just sit there and I was just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I have no. And then I remember like, oh, they didn't actually believe in me and stuff, and they told me that I'm not, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it out of spite. So like that's a ridiculous way to approach your art block. But like to me, like I'm being very honest here and very genuine, like it really works, you know, because like that out of spite moment really works for me to just like overcoming that art block. So like basically at this point, like whatever can help you, even if it's that is not like the greatest advice, but still like doing something, you know, like out of spite can really actually help you in getting over that art block and getting over that uninspired mode. Because at that point, all you think like, okay, I'm gonna show them. You're not thinking about like your actual art block there as well. So that's another advice. That's a weird advice, but that's a good one. Okay, so this advice is like interesting in a way where you can actually have to face yourself and face your emotions, because usually the art blocks and the uninspired days, months, years, well, like whatever, I don't know how many of the days, weeks or something you had, but what I like to do when I don't feel like inspired, when I had that art block where I have no idea like what to do, I just sit and I write down, why do I think I actually have this art block? Because the art blocks are usually coming from something that is either happened to you, like it can be a conversation, it could be something that is everyday, it can be a certain trauma that you have. So for example, for me, I always thought that I'm not good enough. So I always write that down, that I think that my art block is coming from the fact that I think that I'm not good enough and that my work is not good enough. And that is something that I've been struggling for quite a while before, like now much less, but Before, I was really struggling with that. First thing to do is just like you need to try, be like very honest to yourself and to actually try and explain to yourself why do you think that you have certain art block. The art blocks are very, those are the things that can just like keep coming back to you. So it's not going to be like, okay, I just resolved it and it's never going to happen. Like those are the things that are just like keep coming back. So until the point where you actually get over that moment, like whatever happened to you, whatever you think that you have as an issue, you really need to try and resolve it with yourself. So you need to be really honest with yourself. Why do you think that you actually have that art block? So it's not something that is very simple. It's not something that you can just like resolve, because there was like, I think, piled up things that was happening. Like my worst, like I have loads of them, but the worst that I have was that like lack of believing in myself. Whatever I wanted to do, I ended up not doing because I think like I'm not good enough to do that. And I ended up not doing it. So I do that, and then I combine the tip that I told you, that I just like spread like all my drawings around me. I sit, make myself a coffee, of course, because everything that is important, it's like involving the coffee. And then I just observe them, and then I look at them and I was like, okay, you actually did a good job here. So there's no reason for you to actually think that you're not good enough. And then I try to get out of that thing by just like trying to resolve the issues with myself. I'm speaking with myself that I'm actually good enough, that those are the reasons that they're not good enough reasons for me to stop drawing, for me to lose a day, a year, an hour of me not creating something. So you need to speak to yourself. You need to be very honest, very truthful, very genuine in resolving your issues, because that's the core of the issue, that like why your art blocks are keep like returning to you. So that's a process. That's something that it might take you years. Like for me, it took me years to actually figure it out, like what was exactly the issue that I had. So once you do that, I think that like, and combine, of course, all the different tips, like here, those are very weird tips, but at the same time, it's, you know, like they're working, then you're going to end up having the art blocks less and less. You're going to see. So this is something that is like, you need to work on yourself, but once you do, trust me, it's going to work. So this is something that is really important to do if you want to get your art block to go away and your like inspiration to come back. To stay away from the medium that you use the most. So for example, like if I use colored pencils the most, if I use pastels the most, if I sit and force myself to actually draw something and do something, I'm going to have very high expectations from myself. And when it comes to the art blocks and having like you not being not inspired, it's really important that you take it easy on yourself. Act towards yourself like you are your friend and not your enemy, and don't do things that would like end up hurting you in the process. So you, like whenever you have your art block, you cannot force yourself to actually do something that you have the highest expectations with. So whenever you have the art blocks and whenever you feel not inspired, just take it easy. Choose the medium that you're not using that frequently. It doesn't have to be the medium that you use the least, but just do something, like choose something that you use not that frequently, so you don't have that high expectations, because that's something that is so important for you to not have that greatest expectations, and then just start experimenting. Like it can be whatever it possibly can. Like you can combine the tip, like just use something that you don't use frequently and draw something cute. That's something that can really work, because that's exactly what I did. I didn't use the pastels very frequently as much as I used the colored pencils and the graphite pencils and stuff. So I ended up using pastels, drawing something cute, and it really worked. Like I was so happy after it, and I just continued doing something else. Like I did the cat, I did something that I'm gonna show you a bit later as well, like with pastels, because you never know what can actually happen. Like for example, you can draw something cute, you can do some new things, and then you're gonna end up like maybe falling in love with that medium that you didn't use before, and then you're gonna start doing something more frequently. So it's all about experimenting here. Like this worked for me, it might work for you. So that's something that is like very important, like to not have the high expectations from yourself and just stay away from the medium that you use the most. That's another advice. The next one, so this is something that is actually very, very cool, and it can be combined with basically every of the tip that I like just told you before. Use the AI image generator. Like that is like the best thing in the world. Why? I was against the AI image generators and stuff. So those like website platforms that are just like, you know, like using the AI and stuff. But then as I started reading about them, the best thing about these AI image generators is that if you create something for yourself, you have the rights to use it however you want. So there's no copyright infringements, there's no copyright issues, you don't have to, you know, so like basically what I did is as I said, like now we're like connecting all these tips. I used the AI image generator to create something like very, very cute, very, very nice, and I did end up doing this rabbit. So use the AI image generator to create something that you feel passionate about. That, like, for example, I love geometry. That is also something that is want to be like one of my next tips, and I'm going to tell you why I love why I love the geometry. It can really help you out to actually like smash that block as well, but we're going to speak about that a bit later. I just love speaking. Basically use the AI image generator to create something completely random. For example, if you like to draw realistic style, go to basically any AI, like I'm gonna have the linked few of the AI websites that I actually use to create something, and that can really help you out to create something nice. Like I think that there's like free versions there as well. So and like even if you pay them monthly, like there's just like few euros, few dollars per month, so it's nothing like special. So I'm using them to create something that I actually never had anything to do with, because again, I don't have that high expectations. Like if I want to draw anime, I never drew anime before. So like if I want to draw anime, I don't have that expectations, and I can actually create something that I can use as a reference photo to create some art. I can, like, basically there's like thousands of templates there that you can use. You can use the, I don't know, black and white something. You can use the anime. You can use something like very cute, like geometrical style, like the abstract one. Like basically you can use anything to create, and then your mind starts being like curious, like, okay, if I do this, if I do that, like, and you're already being creative, because what art blocks is doing, that like it's completely switching off your mind when it comes to creativity. So that's the point, to like actually bring back your creativity. Even if you're just creating those AI images, your mind is still gonna be like, start getting to be creative there. And you're gonna end up having loads and loads of references, because when it comes to AI, there's like unlimited options there. And like this is also such a cool thing, because like I know how much like struggles I had to actually find a good reference photo, to use a good reference photo, and to, this is gonna fall, to use a good reference photo and to produce like good work, and that I don't risk about like those copyright infringements and copyrights and stuff. So this is such a cool thing to actually do in order to like kind of get that art block and get that like kind of your inspiration back, because you never know what will pop out as an image, what will immediately inspire you to kind of, okay, this is interesting, like I really want to draw this. You can use it, as I said, for like generating something cute, like a cute creature or something. I'm so happy that I was like using for this cute rabbit, like to create something like very fluffy. And that is something that is completely legit, and it's good. Like I've been using this for quite a while now. As I said, I was quite against it, but then I started reading about it and exploring, and it's like the best thing ever. And use it like to your advantage when it comes to that. Like if the AI art is there and it's gonna stay there, you might as well just use it as your reference photos. And you never know what kind of images are gonna actually inspire you to kind of create something on your own. And those are copyright free, so that's a good thing. And that's it when it comes to that one. The other one, I think this is the 9th one. Stay away from social media. I know that like certain people are like, you know, like advising like, okay, you need to go to social media and see like loads of, you know, like creative stuff and all, like I tried doing that, is the worst thing I ever done. It's because I was so overwhelmed by the informations that I got there. Our brains can only accept as much, and my brain couldn't accept all that, because going to social media to find a good, like to find an inspiration there, you're gonna end up seeing thousands and thousands of artists that are actually putting their work out, and you have an art block and you're not doing anything, so that's gonna make you feel even worse. And it made me feel worse like so many times. So whenever I actually have that art block, I don't use social media. I don't want to see what other people are creating. I don't want, like, I need my mind, I need my brain to recover, not to make me feel even worse that I don't actually create anything and there are like thousands of artists that are actually creating something. So that will make me feel even worse. So like, I know that a lot of people is actually advising, like, go to social media, there are like thousands of different options, like you're gonna feel inspired when you see other people's work. No. In the end of the day, like, we are competing between each other. Like it's in our natural state of minds. Like whatever you do, even if we say like we're artists, we're having a good art community, in the end of the day and in the back of each and every mind, the artist's minds, we are actually, like, in the end, we're actually competing. Like I have that subconscious moment that like I kind of want to be better than someone else out there. So we all have that. And when we actually go to social media and see like thousands of different art, cool videos and stuff and all, like I'm just gonna end up being, you know, like even worse. So stay away from social media. Don't use social media. Whenever you have the art block, just use everything that I just said. Stay away from social media. That's the best advice that I can give you. And the last but not least, and this is something that really helped me out, and it has something to do with the medium that I use the least. It has something to do with the medium that you don't use like most frequently whenever you want to run away. So I basically connected everything. When it comes to drawing something geometrical, like your mind is actually not expecting nothing there. So the most important thing when you have the art block is for your mind to expect the least from you at that point. So you still want to create something and you're still gonna do it, but your mind is not gonna expect anything from you. When it comes to geometrical and geometry in general, like anything that has anything to do with geometry, you don't expect anything there. All your mind is thinking like how to connect the line with the square, with the triangle, with the circle, with the, I don't know, and how to connect everything. So whenever I feel uninspired, I actually like to draw something geometrical. So either I use the art material that I use the least. So these are something that I did like before. And these are something that like actually turned out very good. And the latest one that I actually did was with pastels. So this one is actually very cool. So I ended up using the AI art, like the AI image generator. I used that. I went to the medium that I don't use that frequently. I used the thing that I like to actually like run away to like a bit geometry mode. So you, like in this case, like you don't actually, as you can see, like I still have those like the acrylic ones that like they look terrible, but I like them. To be honest, I like them because like I released my brain. I didn't expect anything from myself. I was just curious to see like how in each and every color is going to combine and how the square is gonna look good with the line. That's it. And with the triangle, like that's basically everything that I was actually thinking about. But when it comes to these, like this pastel drawing, like I wasn't expecting anything there. I was just curious to see like how am I gonna be able to provide, like to actually produce the drawing with the face in the combination with geometry. So what I did, I went to the AI art AI image. I don't know why I keep saying AI art image generator. It's an AI image generator. So I ended up using that and I ended up generating something. Then I went to my Photoshop. I kind of changed a lot when it comes to like the form and squares and stuff, like, and then like those geometry things. I used the colors that like the image had that I generated over the AI. I used the color combination that I really liked. So I changed quite a bit there. So I ended up having something like completely cool because I wasn't inspired, and I just took like, I was just like very, how to say, like I took it easy. Like I really didn't expect anything here. I was just curious to see how this will like end up, and it turned out so amazing because I wasn't expecting anything here. I didn't use colored pencils. I didn't use the graphite pencils. I didn't use something that I used, you know, the most. And that ended up being, I think, 10 times better because my mind was just curious, like how to connect geometry with an actual face. When it comes to you don't actually have to draw faces. You can see, like, I used just the acrylics and that's it. And the, like in this, when it comes to these cases. So basically, whatever you do is just like, don't expect anything from yourself. Try and like experiment with the geometry because you're still gonna end up creating something. You're not gonna expect anything from yourself, but you're gonna end up curing your art block in that sense that you're gonna actually create something that you're gonna end up liking. You're gonna switch on your mind in a way that it's gonna be creative, like it's gonna be like more curious about the colors, how you're gonna combine the colors and stuff, you know. So basically, what like this is, I think this is all. I think that I shared everything. These are all mind games that I use. So this is why I think that those are like the weirdest possible advices that I can give you now to kind of get rid of the art block and to get rid of the those like uninspired hours, weekdays. I don't know how many, what kind of art blocks you are having, guys, but in my case, these things are really helping me out, and I know that these are weird, advices, and those are something that are not just like usual advices that I think that just people would go and share. But these are advices that really are helping me. So in case you happen to have an art block and you try some things that I just share with you, I'm really curious to know like how did that went for you. So make sure to leave a comment here, go back to this video and share a comment like how did that go for you, because I'm really curious to see if it's gonna work with you as well. And I think this would be all. Like, this video is so long, and thank you for watching. I just love speaking and I love explaining everything 10 times if needed. But I think that I hope that you find this video helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I see you in another video. Thank you guys. Bye bye.